Hello and welcome to the second part in this two-part video where I'll be talking about the second disc of the Alton Towers soundtrack CD released by I'm a Squirrel late last year. I'm not going to talk about my backstory because I talked about it in the first part. We're just going to get right into it. Obviously, before we start, I'm just going to go through what we have on this album, on this disc. We have the Smiler, the Heritage. We have Smiler, Heritage, Spinball Wizard, Scarefest, Suburbs Hotel, and the Fireworks Spectacular. And we're going to first be tackling what's the first set of songs on this album, and trust me, this is a good one. And the Smiler soundtrack. So we've got track 1, the Smiler theme, track 2, Get Corrected, track 3, Ha Ha Ha, track 4, Beat of the Laughter. So we'll get into that right now. I just warn you, I'm going to play the first minute of the Smiler soundtrack, then I'm going to play you a later segment of it that's the more famous part. So hold on for that. But yeah, here we go. Without further ado, the Smiler soundtrack, the Smiler theme, extract. So I pretty much played you the entire goddamn track there because it's 2 minutes long, and I'm okay with that because again, that's one of the ones that's on YouTube channel, so they can't claim me for putting up content that's illegal because they've put it up themselves. I realised I could have done that with the Galactica theme, but I didn't. But yeah, that is the Smiler theme, and I just fucking again, I love the Smiler theme. It's so good. It's so good. The ha 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 is just the best part of the entire set. The entire bit. It is great. The beginning bit is also really good, and it meshes together to make a brilliant track. It's just under 2 minutes long. 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Obviously, I played you up to 2 minutes and 50 seconds because the rest of it is just ambient noise that no one wants to hear. So no offense to it, but it's just not no. But yeah, it's not something that I obviously want to play out anyway. I just think it's just the whole Smile soundtrack. when you ask me which one I think is as a whole the best, if we're just saying as a whole, it's definitely Smiler. But if we're just talking about main themes, it will be Galactica. IMO, remember IMO? In my opinion, Galactica's theme is just so good. And don't get me wrong, the whole Galactica soundtrack is really good. But I listen to Smiler's soundtrack on a regular basis, whereas it takes me a while to just actually get into the Galactica music. But yeah, that's a fun thing. That's a fun fact. Yeah, it's so good. It's so fucking good. That's what I'm saying. The Smiler theme is one of the things where I've had to wait in the queue for quite a while once before, and this is what I kept. Unironically, this is what kept me sane in the queue, which is really weird considering it's something that would drive you insane if you hear it long. But because I love the track so much, it kept me sane. I was just going ha 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 in the queue, and it's funny. Obviously, the Smiler was the first music that Score ever composed for Alton Towers, and of course, Smiler has an interesting history to say the least. But yeah, it does mean that X Sector is an X Sector and Forbidden Valley both have one Score soundtrack each, and then the other one has its standard soundtrack. Obviously, that's Oblivion. Obviously, X Sector, that's Smiler with the Score track, and then Oblivion with the Dominic Kling composed track, the drum and bass track, which is really Pain, by the way, which I might review that because I have that on CD, but that's fine. And then obviously Forbidden Valley with Nemesis, and Nemesis, which is the Game Smart track, and then the Score track being Galactica. But yeah, the Smiler theme is so Peng. It's one of the best themes for a theme park I'd ever written, and also the rest of the soundtrack is incorporated in Hall of the Mountain King. It is Peng. Go and watch it. I'll link it in the description. Buy the CD just for this track alone because it's Peng. But also, I suggest buying it for the tracks to come after the Smiler soundtrack. But we'll get to them. But yeah, here is Get Corrected, the Smiler, which also, by the way, the Smiler theme is 3 minutes 6 seconds long. Here's Get Corrected, which is 4 minutes and 15 seconds long. That was Get Corrected, and obviously, if you can't tell, that's the track that plays in the queue because there's obviously ambience, queue ambience. I do love the incorporation of the Smiler theme played almost quieter and almost put with a filter over it, and then filtered through. It has like a quiet and down dim filter put on it, and then it's put into this track, and I do like that. And obviously the boom 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 boom. It's supposed to imitate the sort of almost industrial factory sort of place we're in. They're very much not safe. You don't know what it's going to be like, and the use of there's lots of sound effects in it that make it really good. It's obviously a Q track, so it's not got the same music. But obviously, I know where each of these offices. Minor theme is played. Area is the area piece for most of X Sector, and then obviously this is the Q piece, and then we'll get to the shop piece is the next piece, and then the other piece is probably the station piece, I think. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, again, it's a good track. I do like listening to it in the Q line, and it is just a vroom 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 vroom, which is really quite cool. But yeah, again, that track is a crisp 4 minutes and 15 seconds long, and now on to Ha Ha Ha, which is 5 minutes 20 seconds long, which is very much the shop soundtrack. So yeah, here's the next track from Ha Ha Ha. So that was an extract from Ha Ha Ha, which obviously you can tell is the short piece, because it very much is sort of a, it's more of a plodding, it's not plodding, but it's more of a just a upbeat version of the Smiler thing, which is actually more creepy than you think of it. It's actually more creepy than the original version if you really think about it, to be quite frank. I know it sounds like it's supposed to be more happy-go-lucky, but that really makes it more creepy when you consider what the Smiler is and sort of stuff, which is fun. But yeah, I do love that track. It's very much a epic version. Well, not an epic, but it's just fun to listen to, and sound instrument. Wow, 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 wow. It's just really, that tune. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. It's just really good, and I do think, again, I do enjoy that. The fact it's 5 minutes long is also a bonus, but it's just nice to. It's not nice to listen to, but it's just fun. If you just want to weird someone out, you play this track. It's fun to listen to. The next track is Beat of a Laughter from the Smiler, which is the track that contains the Alton Towers theme. I will skip to that. I'll play the first minute, and I'll skip to that bit. So yeah, here's the first minute of Beat of a Laughter. So there's the first minute that I'm playing. Now I'm going to skip to the Alton Towers theme part, so give me a second. Here's the Alton Towers in the Hall of the Mountain King part of Beat of a Laughter. Enjoy. So yeah, I do like this track, because if I play on a bit, like to about here, it sort of, it very much remixes and reuses and changes a lot of the stuff from the Smiler theme, but it makes them sound different, but also the same in the same way. Obviously, you hear that in the first extract that I played. It's just, I like the use of the Smiler's other components, Smiler theme's components, and just changing them a bit. It's a cool dynamic, and I do enjoy it. And obviously, the use of the in the Hall of Mountain King is brilliant as well. But yeah, I do love the whole sound of it. It's great. I love the use of the mixing things and changing it a bit, and obviously, it's just a lot of fun to hear them change elements of it up and it still actually work and make it sound cool. And obviously the use of all the crashing box sound style things and sound effects are brilliant as well. But now it's time to move on. My personal favorite set of tracks from this entire album, both discs, my favorite parts of it, favorite section, favorite tracks, all in this bit, and that is of course heritage tracks. These are the shit, man, and you'll see what I mean when I play them. But yeah, Beat of a Laughter was 4 minutes 33 seconds long. Here is the heritage extract. I may also, if the extract doesn't get to the bit that I want to get it to, then I may also play a bit more of an extract of it to give you a feel of why I like it. But here you go. Here's an extract of the heritage by I'm School. Now that was the Heritage, and if you can tell from my voice, this shit is it's so beautiful is the best way to describe it. It's just, I absolutely adore this song and the other songs from the Heritage tracks. They're so good. I absolutely just, when I'm thinking of Alton Towers, these are the tracks that I think of because of how they make me feel so warm inside, and that's what Alton Towers makes me feel. And it just is what I think of when I think of Alton Towers, and when I think of my memories, this is just what this gives me. This is how this would, if someone asked me to find music to describe how I feel about Alton Towers, this would be it. It's just, it gives me such a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. It's just so, and obviously, this music is played around the Towers area, and I personally think it should be played in the gardens on a low level, not too high. But it gives me the feels. I love it so much. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's great fun. It's just so, it makes me feel happy. Whenever I'm down in the dumps or anything, I'll just play this and it makes me feel so happy. I just think these tracks are so good. This one is really good because it sets up very well. Obviously, it's shooting in the Hall of the Mountain King is so good as well here, and I can't tell you how much I love these tracks so much. The three tracks that the Heritage use, I love to listen to them, and I was at Alton Towers one. The last time I went to Alton Towers, actually, I was sat in the Splash Landings Hotel, sort of the restaurant, the upstairs, the bar bit, the bar, and I was sitting looking into the water park, and this was just what was playing in my head because I have such personal memories with that water park and the Splash Landings Hotel. And when I think of anything Alton Towers, this is what I think, and I'd love to just sit on the lawn or close to the towers, just sit back, listen to this music in my head, have it playing in my headphones, and just relax at Alton Towers. And it's so personal to me. This music is just one of the most personal pieces, some of the most personal pieces of music to me. I know that sounds weird because it's just not the best kind of music to say, but for me it really is, and I love the tracks so much. They're some of my most played tracks on my phone. I just adore all of them. And here's the second one, which is called Back in the 19th Century. So here it is. By the way, the Heritage is 4 minutes 27 seconds long. And I'll probably go more into depth as to why I love the Heritage tracks once I play this one. But here you go. Here's Back in the 19th Century. Again, I can't. If someone had asked me to pick a favourite track from this entire album, I couldn't pick one. I'd have to say it would be the three Heritage tracks because I love them so much. They are in my mind what I think of when I think of Alton Towers and my memories with them and how much of a special place Alton Towers is to me. This is how I would describe them with these songs. Again, like I said, if someone asked me to pick a piece of music that best describes Alton Towers to me and for me, and how I would think about Alton Towers, it would be this: the warm fuzziness, the warm feeling that it gives you, the feeling of happiness and just warmth and being in a place that's so special. And that's what Alton Towers is for me, and that's what these songs give. And I love that they also work with just being in the peaceful area that is the towers. And I think they're just, I can't tell you how fucking good these fucking tracks are. And here's the final one. Back in the 19th century, which used to be my favourite one, but I think I'm kind of more aiming for the first one, the Heritage being my favourite one. As for back in the 19th century, I do think it's very much really good, and especially towards the end when it starts sounding like this. It is so good. But here is back in the 19th century was 3 minutes and 17 seconds long. Here is Great Old Walls, the final Heritage track. So yeah, that is Great Old Walls, the final Heritage track. And again, just like the other two, they are so fucking. Again, they are so fucking good. And I really just, again, the same problem happened just now with the first one, where I'm gonna have to then I splice it into two because the microphone disconnected again. But anyway, back on topic to the Heritage. They are so good. I love them so much. They make me feel warm. They make me feel happy. They make me just feel all kinds of special towards Alton Towers, because it's a place that I've been going to for a very long time. Well, I said that 2008 ish time was my first visit there, and I've been going pretty much almost definitely not every year since, but I've been going every year since 2017. That's a fact. But I also went in 2015, but I could have gone every year since 2015, which would have been 5 years. But no, I didn't go in 2016, unfortunately. But yeah, a place I've been going to for so long, and I actually, despite the fact being going there since 2008, I only first experienced the big coasters in 2015, which was not the best. Obviously, I didn't experience the Smiler until 2017. So that was fun. But I just feel these tracks have such a special attachment to me, and I love them so much, and I don't really care what anyone else thinks about me saying that. If it's cringe or if you just want to laugh at it, that's fine. I don't care. It's my opinion, and you can have your opinion. But I'm just saying these tracks are brilliant. Anyway, next track. The Spinball Wizard theme, which is fun. Spinball's is an interesting ride. It's very, very. It's not as good as Dragon's Fury, and that's a fact. But it does have the better music now, which, yes or no, how you see that is up to you. Here's the Spinball Whistle theme. Hope you enjoy the extract. So what I just played you there, that extract, was also much like the first extract of Tower Street from The Long Awaited Day, was also released in a very high quality around the time in 2016 when Spinball Wizard reopened as Spinball Wizard with the new music. So obviously they never were gonna. It wasn't officially released, but someone just managed to almost leak it online in a way, and that happened. That was a thing. I really love this track. Just listen to it. I quite like it. It's very upbeat and fun, and obviously it's going for a pinball sound, and it has that pinball sound. And obviously, pinball sound also sounds a bit like Sonic music, which is ironic considering this Spinball Wizard used to be called Sonic Spinball. So take that actually how you wish. But yeah, I just think it's brilliant. I do feel like the other tracks on Spinball are weaker, but not bad per se. So here's the next track that is Turn It On, which bear with me while I try and see if I can actually find the Alton Towers theme. So yeah, give me a sec. Okay, so I can't actually find it, so I'm not gonna be able to show it to you. But I'm just gonna play you. I know it is in there somewhere because I've heard it before, so I know it is there. And if it does, if I do actually hear it while playing the track fully, then maybe I'll mention it. But here is Turn It On, Spinball Wizard. By the way, Spinball Wizard, the last track, Spinball Wizard theme was 4 minutes 46 seconds long. So here is Turn It On, Spinball Wizard. I just oh, hang on. Let me just play that again so you'll be able to hear it a tad bit louder. There we go. Yeah, so again, I didn't have the microphone pointed down so it wouldn't be as loud. So I'm just going to play it again, but louder, so you can actually hear it this time. So again, this is going to take up more runtime, which means it's going to be more of a fucking pain to edit. But I want my fans to be able to hear. Well, I want my viewers, because I've got no fans. I want my viewers to be able to actually hear the song fully. So here we go. So yeah, that was different. That was turn it on spin, was it? Now just listening to that, it made me actually personally believe that Spinball Wizard soundtrack as a whole is better than Wicker Man soundtrack as a whole. Now hear me out. When I say as a whole, I mean all three tracks, all of the tracks taken into consideration. Obviously, I do believe that Wicker Man's theme is definitely superior than any of the Spinball Wizard tracks, but as a whole, Spinball Wizard's music sounds and just feels better. But I do think that track's really good. It obviously has a lot more Sonic vibes, which is funny, like I said. But I just think it's an enjoyable track to listen to, and don't get me wrong, I think it fits Spinball Wizard very well. I wouldn't imagine it being on any other ride. It fits the ride very well. The music that Score produced for that ride fits it very well. It's really good. I think it really does make me want to. Every time I go, I have been going since at least 2017, because obviously this was Spinball was brought back in 2016. But every time I've gone since 2017, it's made me actually want to go and ride Spinball Wizard, because just to hear the good ass music that it has. But yeah, here's the next track. A Different Spin, the final track for Spinball Wizard. I do think that, again, that was a different spin, which is 3 minutes 32 seconds long. I definitely feel that song is weaker than the other two. It's still enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like it's much weaker than the other two, which is really a shame because the other two are actually quite good. I think it has the same Sonic pinball style feel the other two have, but it just feels a bit diluted. Anyway, let's move on to Scarefest, which I'm going to have some interesting takes on these musics. But this is Scarefest. This is Fear the Dark, which is 4 minutes 47 seconds long from Scarefest. So that was Fear the Dark from Scarefest. Give me a second, I'm just trying to figure something out. Okay. So I actually, prior to this album, this CD existing, I didn't even know that I'm a Score did Scarefest music, to be honest. I thought it was all Nick Hudson, you know, your boy. But yeah, I thought it was all him, but obviously it wasn't. They did some Scarefest tracks. I mean, it sounds alright. It definitely gives me it definitely does have that Halloween sort of feel. Also, there's a part of it I'll just play it to you in a second that gives me. It's obviously gives me Mystery of the Hocus Pocus or vibes that the track that I'm Score also did for that maze. But yeah, here's that little bit that I'm talking about. There's a little instrumental bit you'll hear in a minute. That weird ass fucking thing. That weird ass fucking thing, whatever that thing was used in the Mystery of the Hocus Pocus one, I found that quite funny. But yeah, I just don't know how to feel about the Halloween the Scarefest tracks. They're not bad, but they're also nowhere near my favourites. So that's fun. I just think they're fine. They're definitely, my opinion, the weakest tracks on the whole album. But that's purely because I just didn't know they existed before, and I just don't, you know, have a feel for them. Next up we have Spooks Fights and pardon me. Spooks Fights and Thrills. Spooks Fights and Thrills from Scarefest. Here we go. And this done that. The previous track, Fear the Dark, was 4 minutes 40 seconds long, and then the next track is 5 minutes 7 seconds long, which is really weird. But yeah, there you go. So that was Spooks, Fights and Thrills. Now again, I have the same thing can apply for my as the last one. It's not that I don't care. It's just I didn't know they existed, and I don't particularly think that they're the best on the album. They're definitely the weakest. Even the Sleepy's Land Hotel tracks that I didn't know exist, I felt are better than these ones. But I just guess this just feels, because it just feels like generic Halloween music, whereas everything else on the album feels it's very unique and its own thing. And it's very much Score still, but just very much its own unique set of musics for each ride. Everything's, Smiler is very different to Galactica. Galactica is very different to Wicker Man. Wicker Man is very different to Spinball. Tower Street is very different to Enchanted Village. It all feels different from each other. But this just feels like generic Halloween music, Nothing against the guys at Score who composed it. Nothing against it. It's not bad music. I don't hate it. It just feels like generic Halloween music. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on to Spooky's Land Hotel now. Here is Playful Stay from Spooky's Hotel. Here's the next track. So that was Playful Stays, and as the name suggests, I feel like it just sounds very playful, and it's very just upbeat and fun and cool to listen to. And I actually used this track in the game Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I put all the tracks from this album into that game on my PC, and I used this for the water park music because it just sounds like something you might hear at a themed water park. I like it. I think it sounds quite cool, and it's just upbeat and fun and happy, and it's just, I like it. Okay, I think it's cool. Don't at me that I don't like Spooky's and Hotel music, but it's just a thing to point on that. Before this album was released, Spooky's Land Hotel and Scarefest were the only two that didn't have any form of its music ever released that we'd heard before. Because obviously Tower Street that had a piece released, Wicker Man had a piece released, Galactic had a piece. Then obviously Enchanted Village had a recorded piece put online, half an hour long, and then Smiler had a piece. Smiler had a piece. The Heritage also had a recorded version put online. Spinball had a piece put online. Then obviously these two didn't, and even the Fireworks had a piece put online, but those two didn't. So it's just first time we're hearing these things, and obviously my first time when I heard the Scarefest tracks, but again, it's just generic Halloween music. It's not bad. It's just very generic, but this music just felt cool and unique and fun and just upbeat and just really cool. I'm never going to stay in this Spooky's Land Hotel, so this is as close as I'm going to get to hearing this music in real life, because unless the only way I'm ever going to stay in the Spooky's Land Hotel is when I grow up and I have kids and I stay in there. But even if I did have kids, I wouldn't. And I took them to Haunted House. I wouldn't choose to take them to the Spooky's Land Hotel. I would choose the Splash Landings Hotel because that place is paying. But yeah, here's the next track, Times of Fun from Spooky's Land. By the way, the previous track, Playful Stays, was 2 minutes and 42 seconds long. So yeah, here is Times of Fun, Spooky's Land Hotel. that was Time to Find It, and it starts off sounding very much like almost the not like the Heritage, but very sort of, somber, and not somber, but very much chill. But then it goes on to no 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 no, which I think is quite a catchy beat, and I also like this track. But it also sounds very much like a piece that you'd hear in advertisement for like an all-inclusive resort like place, or maybe even Alton Towers, but like a gym fitness sort of all-inclusive. There's this one place, I can't remember what it's called, but it had loads of different things, and it sounds like something you'd hear in advertisement for that, or something like Zamperla, who's a ride manufacturer, would use to advertise their rides in one of their videos. So that's what that sounds like. But yeah, that's fun. I think it's a cool piece. I enjoy it. I think it's cool. But the next two pieces are probably better. Here we're moving on to the final two tracks and the end of me talking, you hearing my stupid voice in this video. But yeah, and that is moving on to Tension Is Rising, the Fireworks Spectacular, which is 3 minutes and 17 seconds long. So enjoy this piece of track. So that was Tension Is Rising. Now, this track was used in the announcement trailer for the CD. It was used to build up again, like it's called Tension Is Rising. It was used to build up the tension before they announced it. Obviously, I didn't know this track was related to the album, B, even used at Alton Towers before this. So when I see some people reacting to it and hearing this track or typing in comments, as soon as I heard Tension Is Rising, as soon as I heard the music at the beginning, I knew this was an Alton Towers soundtrack. I, however, didn't know that. I thought it was just a cool piece that Score composed to use to advertise it, but it's also obviously used to prelude into the Alton Towers fireworks, which they haven't done in 2020. They did do in 2019, but they didn't do it last year. So yeah, it was obviously used to prelude into that and prelude into the Fireworks Spectacular track that's coming up next in a minute. We'll play, but I just think it's a cool piece. It's a good tension building piece, but other than that, it's nothing really special. Personally, I think the Scooby Land tracks are better than that piece, but I still think that piece is better than the Scarefest tracks. That's just a personal opinion. Here is Fireworks Spectacular, the final piece, which is 5 minutes and 11 seconds long. So I'm going to play brief extracts on it because it's a weird piece. Okay. yeah, that was Fireworks Spectacular. Obviously, it's a melody comprising of different Alton Towers theme songs. Obviously, the tracks used were Hex, The Legend of the Towers, 13, Nemesis, and obviously In the Hall of the Man King, and obviously an original parts of it are original themes. But I think that track's brilliant. It's obviously 5 minutes long, so I'm not going to play the whole bit, even though this is also one of the ones that's available online. It's good fun. It's brilliant sounding track. Great music. I love it. It's lovely to hear. I think it's the only Alton Towers piece to ever be composed by an actual orchestra. Well, by the Budapest Film Orchestra, where the guys who conducted and composed, like obviously the guys at Score wrote it, and then obviously they handed over to the Budapest Film Orchestra who recorded it and all that stuff. So that's fun. This is taking us to the end of this 2-part video, which is going to be so fucking long. It's going to be pretty much two videos that are almost an hour long. So that's fun. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. All the links in the description to buy the CD. The second part probably in the description. I'll put the first part will be in the description here, and I'll put the second part in the description for the first one. Have fun. Link tree will be there. Go follow my Unfunnily Lamp Twitter. That's in my link tree. That's not funny, but just follow it. Subscribe to this channel. Podcast coming next week. That's all fun. Movie reviews. Hopefully on the main channel, we're moving back to Iron Man. Probably this evening, potentially. Who knows? But yeah, that's been fun. Have a good day. And yeah, this has been fun. So bye bye.